I spent years trying to follow the Hollywood blueprint, and I'm not as fulfilled as I actually thought I'd be. Hold on, I'm calling my mom.
Hit the line, what's the tea? They talk about everything. Goes on, I'm calling my mom. Paul is here, Barb too, and they talk about everything. Goes on, I'm calling my mom.
We're back, bitches. Hi, mom.
Hi.
We are back to the Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom podcast.
We're here. Hi, everybody.
I'm joined by my lovely mom. I'm Paul. If you already are not tuned in to know who I am, but this is my superstar mother. And I'm like, we got a whole new little upgrade here.
I know. This is like real comfy.
I know. Okay. So we have a lot to talk about because Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom has been gone for 3 months. We took a 3-month break in between seasons. This is season
A
3.
3-month hiatus.
Hiatus. So thank you for everybody for tuning back in and listening to us. And you are going to have to listen to me be a little nasally because I'm a little under the weather. But guess what? A real showman knows that the show must go on. So here we are. Barb is doing this on her day off. I'm sick. We're fighting through it, but we are giving the people what they deserve, which is the Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom podcast extravaganza, upgraded. We got new lighting in this motherfucker. We got new, Barb's got a new hair. Barb's got maybe new teeth, not new teeth, but you know, they look straighter than they have because you've been doing Invisalign.
I have. It's been a process, but we can go into that later.
I'm a little thicker. A bitch needs to maybe do a little Ozempic action, but
stop.
It's giving. And what else do we got? Yeah, so we wanted to put a pin in the onesies because the onesies are cute in their camp, and I love them. They're iconic. But I was like, oh, this just feels like personally how we would be like in a hotel room together, or how we would be in your living room together, you know.
Totally.
And the onesies just felt like they were very like specific. So who knows, we might, you know, dust them out later on in the season, but I felt like we were going to switch it up. You know, we're trying to upgrade every time we come back to the podcast.
Is like a really nice color.
I know.
It's kind of like my color too.
I picked that for you specifically.
Thanks. Yeah.
And I just realized we kind of unintentionally have the same thing going on. I have the plant behind me. You have the plant behind me. I feel like we've really raised the bar with our aesthetic, if I'm being honest.
I agree.
Right?
Yes, I agree. Oh, as I'm knocking shit over already.
Girl, oh my gosh. She's been away for a little bit. So now she's like tearing things up, not used to the rhythm. I have felt out of whack. I don't know about you. I have felt out of whack not doing this. This is my therapy with you doing this.
I know.
And sorry, go ahead. I was getting a little too excited. Go ahead.
No, I feel like we talk on the phone, but when it's like this, it's like so much more like, hey, oh yeah, let's start. Yeah, you know, like.
No, I know. Well, that's why I've been like, oh, you know, we were taking a hiatus because I and you, we wanted to give this everything. I wanted to give it like a facelift. I feel like, you know, season 3, you know, it's like a housewife that comes in, you know, on her 3rd season, and she's like, hey, you know, I'm got the look is right, the aesthetic is right. So we're growing and evolving, but you know, we wanted to do it intentionally. But I did feel like a piece of me was missing because there's so many times that I was like, damn, I just need to get on the podcast with my mom. I've been calling her, and you know, we do the regular routine of me calling you.
Yeah.
But
yes, that has never stopped.
That never stopped. But I'm saying like it's almost like I wish the cameras were rolling because there's been so much that I feel like I've called, you know, you to talk about. And I'm like, damn, this would be so good for the podcast.
Yeah, I know. So true.
So I'm like, okay, we're here now. Are you ready to let me unload on everything that we've got going on?
Let's do it.
Right? Well, I just was like, I wanted to get into, you know, what I've been calling you about. I feel like what I have been, you know, kind of conflicted with, and like what I've been dealing with, and there I feel like has been a lot of transition on both of our lives in the last 3 months.
I agree.
And I feel like we have talked about this a lot, but there are like certain things, you know me, there's always like a new emotion every day that pops up that makes me see something in a different light. But I wanted this season to be very much like the real us, right? Like I think a lot of it has come down to like we love a gimmick and we love to producing bits and stuff, but I really want it to be like us. Like I don't want it to be, you
Yeah.
know, feeling like forced. And I feel like when we first started, it's like getting in a rhythm of like,
We were
oh,
getting our feet wet.
yeah. But I was like, oh, people don't want to listen to just us. They
I
don't.
don't know. People do love
I
us.
know. Well, they love you. They love you. That's for sure. But I was like, "Oh, I'm excited." Like, I love that. Like, I love that
Yeah.
we people just wanna hear us, and
They
I
love
think
our banter, our
yes.
way we are. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think we sold ourselves short because I just was like, "Well, I want someone to, like, walk away with an expert and learn something," or I want someone to, like, see what it's like to get your feet wet dating, in your 50s like my mom, and I kinda was like, "That's great and all, but, like, we learn so much just by the 2 of us."
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah.
That I was like, "I don't need," if the expert calls for it, great, bring them in, but I'm like, we learned so much about like, when I end up calling you about something that's really going on with me, I feel like it then creates a bigger conversation, and then you walk away learning something.
Yeah.
I learned something about you learned something about me. So, I was like, "No, that is how we're gonna do this season. We're gonna be us." This is like, if you were on a motherfucking phone call with us at 1 PM, 6 PM, midnight, 2 AM. Hey, this is you're in it right now. This is the call.
This is it.
This is hold on, I am calling my mom. So I
And right, it's "Hold on, I'm calling my mom." That's right, I do have it now, it's "Hold on, I'm calling my mom." I might
yeah,
have messed it up a couple times.
if you have seen the clip that I dropped with my mom in the old phone booth that she was in, she didn't even know what the name of the podcast was. So we're just happy to be graced by her presence. We're happy that she's here. We're happy that she's functional, but
It was
she
the altitude and
the
you
altitude.
and the tall air.
Yeah, the you literally, we looked it up, there was no difference in the altitude, like, it's like being here. But, with all that to be said, I feel like in my life right now, I'm really struggling with, like I realize that I'm struggling with how to be this fully perfect version of myself. I catch myself always being, like, at point A, which feels like it's at the beginning, and then I immediately wanna go to point B, right? I wanna be this, like, crystallized, perfect version of myself. I wanna be like, "Okay, this is the, kind of person that's, like, figuring it out. It's a little bit of a hot mess," and then boom, superstar. You got it all together, you know exactly what you're doing, and I have
No,
realized
you wanna go from A to Z. You don't want to go
well,
B,
no,
C, D,
no,
E.
I don't want B is like Z, but yeah, sure. I wanna go
Yeah.
to, like, A to Z. You're right. Okay, we're making it more extreme. Yeah, A to Z. But to me, I don't know how to be, like, A minus, A and 3 quarters, A and a half. Like, I need to be either not fully immersed or, like, fully the perfect version of myself.
Right.
And I feel like I've been struggling with that because I'm like, "Oh, I've realized I don't know how to be, like, in the uncomfortable space." Like, I don't know how to, like, be the in between, and I feel like the in between is truly, like, what helps you grow the most. Like,
Yeah.
the in between of figuring out who you are, but I'm always like, "No, I wanna be this, like, perfect version of myself, and, I don't wanna be anything in between," but I think I'm just kinda like I think it all has come to, like, a head because it's like, I don't feel like I have control in my career. I don't feel like I have authorship in my career. I feel like, doing this podcast, I felt like it was a subconscious, like, yearning to be like, "Oh, I have a voice, and I wanna use it, and I wanna do something creative and fun," and, sometimes with, like, I don't know, doing things with, like, work or, it can take that away from it, and I feel like I just wanted to always create this version of myself that felt like I had to, like, play it safe or follow this, like, ladder or structure for me to make things happen, and then I feel like I started doing that and checking things off my box, and I'm like, but I'm still not happy and I'm still not fulfilled. Like, I just cast and developed Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I'm so grateful
I
and proud of
know.
that and so happy, but then it's like, "Oh, well, like, it doesn't fill me up all the way that I want to," you know what I mean? And it's like, that's how I felt about E! News, that's how I felt about, like, working on Beverly Hills Housewives, Dallas Housewives, where, like, I do
Yeah,
all
but
these
I
things that are, like, my dreams, and then I get there and I'm like, "Well," I check it off, but I still don't feel like I have authorship over it, like, it doesn't feel like mine, and, like, this feels like mine with you, like, it feels like a joint project that feels fulfilling. It feels like
yeah.
I'm healing, like, a younger version of myself. I'm, like, having, kinda putting our relationship on a stage and highlighting that because it's really special to me. Um, but I've been feeling, like, down, about kinda, like, my self-worth about what that looks like in my career and my personal life. It's almost like I do all these things, but I'm like, "Okay, well, what do I have to show for it? What's special about it? Great. What's mine? What is mine?"
Well, I think you also are a person that once you set yourself on doing something, you get there. Like, it doesn't matter how you get there, but you get there, and then once you achieve that, it's like, "Okay," you're the type of person that doesn't settle. You're like, "Okay, I need something next now because I put that on my list to achieve. I did it. Now what's next?" You're a what's next kind of person. You're not like, "Oh, this is my goal. This is what I have to get to," and then you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do that. You are like goal setter, get it, move on, goal setter, get it, move on. Like there's never like I don't feel like there's an end to your goals.
No, but I think
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah,
struggle with it because I'm like, "Oh, that is such a positive and great thing to always keep the bar moving,"
of
but then
course.
it also is not because then it feels like it's a forever constant battle that I'm gonna keep chasing and I'm never gonna be happy or fulfilled, and that's what I always get upset or worried about because I feel like, "Oh my gosh, do I have this life in front of me that I enjoy and love and am so grateful for?" But it's like I always keep thinking about the next best thing, and then I'm not gonna, like, really, I guess, like, utilize what I have right in front of me. Like, I don't wanna be that person that's, like, 60 and feels like they missed out on their life because they were so blinded by getting to a certain point in their life.
Right.
But it's hard because it feels like that's just what's in my DNA. I don't know how to be any other version than that.
Yeah, and I maybe some people are just like that, you know? I think everything you did has always made you happy. So it's not like you did things that you were like, "Ugh, this isn't that's what you wanted to do." Like that was your goal. That's what made you happy. And
Yeah.
then it's just once you get that goal, then you got to sit back and be like, "Okay, what's the next step?" Because you can't always be chasing that thrill and happiness either, constant like, "Okay, I did it." Like,
Well, I think the thing for me is also too, I feel like I don't like being put in a box, and I feel like working out in, like, Hollywood or, like, the industry, I hate even saying that, but it's like, I almost feel like you have to be like a you have to fit into, like, this mold, right? And I feel like I feel like I've reinvented myself in different ways where it was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna work at E! News, and I'm gonna become, like, the next Jason Kennedy or Ryan Seacrest,"
yeah,
right? And it was like I was there, and I'm like, "Well, that doesn't feel like me." Like, I love
right.
this. I love this about it, but this doesn't feel like me. And then because I felt, like, too stiff and not, like, real. And then it was like, "Oh, I wanna be in reality TV," because it's like, I always loved, like, the behind the scenes. I loved watching it. I love the creativity that goes into it. I love, like, showcasing stories, and then I would do that, and I would be like, "Oh, well, this still doesn't," I love parts of this, but I don't love this fully. And then I felt like, I have just continued to do that, and then it got to a point where I was like, "Yeah, but who am I?" Like, these are things that I chase in other things, like, I chase the image of it, but, like, who
Right.
am I? What is mine? Who am I? Like, what do I offer? And I feel like I felt that more recently because I called you when I left, like, I met with somebody, and I almost felt like they wanted me to, like, be put in a box, and I, like, want to meet with this person. I was, like, really looking forward to it, and, I felt like it was gonna be, like, a good conversation, and it's not that it wasn't, but I left there feeling kinda worse about myself because it felt like this person didn't understand what I want to do, which is, like, I don't wanna just be a reality TV producer. I want to be like a podcast producer. I want to develop shows. I want to create my own content. I want to like, you know, cast TV. Like I want to be across the board. I don't feel like I need to be in a specific box. And I almost felt like that made me feel bad about myself because the person I was
Yeah,
talking to made me feel like I should be in a box.
yes, but I said to you, you just can take things from that. You don't have to hold that whole conversation of what you should be doing. You gotta take, like, little bits and pieces from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
you're
that's what you have to do. You have to take little bits and pieces. You can't just follow someone and be like, "Okay, Paul, you need to do this, and then after that, do that, and then after that, do that," because that's someone else's journey who did that. But you can be like, "Oh, well, maybe I wanna do this, and can skip over this, or I can take that from it." So, you always gotta pull a little bit of positive out of it.
yeah. I just think that when you like check things off your list, it's like, oh, it gives you more credibility or it gives you more like respect, and then I feel like sometimes that's not actually the case, and it's like, fuck, like how much more respect can I gain from like what do I need to do to get respect from people, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I think that just comes from the the atmosphere of Hollywood. You always have to keep proving yourself and doing that. So I
Yeah,
should be aware of
absolutely.
that. But I just think, it just yeah, I guess I'm looking for, like, almost, which sounds bad, like, external validation, like, recognition for things, like, which probably isn't good, but I think in this world that I work in, it's hard not to, like, want that, you know?
Yes, of course. But again, I mean, the only person you're going to make happy and sit and at the end of the day be like, oh, I did that. Or, uh, I put that goal and I met it, is going to be you.
Yeah. Well, because I told you about this and I called you actually crying about this because someone had reached out to me about a potential job opportunity and they acknowledged the podcast and said they saw what we were doing over here. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that hit me
Yeah.
so hard out of everything. And it was like, I don't even care if like the salary of that was like shit or something. It was just the fact that like someone noticed what we were doing. And I think I don't, yeah, that
In
to
the
me
in the industry.
yes. And
Yeah.
and and I think those are the moments that, like, mean so much to me because it
Yeah.
feels like, oh, the industry that I've worked so hard to get into, that I've been trying to, that I've spent my whole entire life pretty much to infiltrate into, I'm like, "Oh, someone noticed what I'm doing. Someone noticed my creativity. Someone
Yeah.
noticed, like, what I'm trying to build." So I think, like, as shitty as it sounds, it's almost like you kinda do need external validation because
I
it
think
does.
I know it's not good, but I think everybody needs some kind of validation. Everybody does. It's not a bad thing. It's just people wanna be recognized for something they did or their job or an outcome or something, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, everybody needs a little bit of validation.
I mean, I feel like you even sometimes seek validation in your job too.
Of course. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, there's been times where I feel like, like this call, like, we'll end up talking about me. And then it's like, oh, well, I just had the same thing happen at work or something. So I know it's not just me and I shouldn't think that I don't think I'm the only person. That's why I'm talking to you about it. Cause I'm like, anyone who's listening, I'm sure can feel like, wow, there's something that you could resonate with this that like, I always think that, like, growing up, I always just, like, felt like the people in Hollywood, it was like, "Oh, I don't care." Like, they don't care about what other people's opinions are because they're in it, and I feel like being in it, I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but, like, I feel like it's always like, even if someone thinks like, "Oh my gosh, you do red carpets or you worked on this show," I'm like, I still don't feel always, like, fulfilled and great about things because 'cause I'm like, I wanna do
Yeah.
so much more,
Yeah. I'm
And I
sure people in the industry feel that way too. And I'm sure like actors and actresses, like when they first start out, they take whatever they want to take. you know what I mean, to pay the bills and get their foot in. So I think they start out the same way as, this is what I'm doing. I'm more than this, you know?
Yeah, you feel like a sellout kinda because 'cause you're like, "Well, this
Yeah,
isn't
you
what I
got to
came here
take,
to
right,
do."
right. Or people are trying to get into the business of being an interviewer or something like that, that they're doing all these little, not little, but just
Little gigs, yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah, of like, until someone sees them and validates them and been like, you did a great job. And then all of a sudden it can just explode for them out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Yeah.
Little gigs like me where I had to work with someone who was younger than me, and I was the one that was bringing them around and bringing them to point A to point B on a red carpet, and I'm like, "Oh, how old are you?" They're like my brother's age. I'm like, "Okay, this is what we love this. This is such a self-esteem booster, let me tell y'all."
Yeah, but
Well,
you enjoyed it and it was still fun and you still love being part of all of that,
I
you know?
do, I
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
but it's also there's the high highs and there's the low lows, and the
Of
low lows
course.
come afterwards where you're like, "Okay, bitch, what are we doing here? Like, we need to step our shit up and make sure that we have a plan of action and there's, like, a legacy that is to be here. Because like, it's cute and all, but, like, what's the long-term goal, you know? So, that is where I have been mentally, and I feel like there has been different variations of that across the board, but those are the things that really have, like, stuck with me because I'm just like that those have been things that I feel like have been holding me back, but then also at the same time have been giving me momentum to want to keep going and go forward. Like
Of
that's the
course.
thing. You just never want to stop, right? Like you just got to
Yeah.
keep going. That's why hold on, I'm calling my mom. We're here because it's not stopping because it's ours, you know? No, you got to teach
But
people how you learn
oh
how to
yeah, it's this way now.
she
There's
learned how
no
to
more snapping. It's
she
this way.
she learned how to clock it.
I did that at work the other night.
What did they or did they even know what it was or no?
I don't know. They looked at me and they said something and I was just like, yes.
Well, because Barb can't be
Sometimes I think I'm like,
hip.
yes,
You
that's the
are.
word, more hip than
You have 2 gay
some of the
sons. Do you think
some of the people, like,
yeah, of course, you have to be. I mean, I'm like, it just well, I feel like people your age are saying or you feel like a hip because some, people can just get comfortable and they don't know what's
yeah.
going on. But because you have 2 gay sons, we're like, "No, girl, you can't clock it like this. You gotta clock it like this."
And then we
This is
were talking about something like with the song and they were like, anxiety. And I was like, oh, Doshi.
Doechii, but yeah, you got
Doshi.
it. Yeah, there you go. See, you know that.
I know that. And they just look at me and they just laugh because they're
They
just, yeah.
Well, they probably were like, "Oh, I thought it was that GoTA song." You're like, "No, it's a Doechii sampled it, it's her song."
But they were just like, "You know that?" And I was like, "Of course I know that." Like, "Hello?"
Well, aside from telling people and teaching them how to clock it, the "Hold on, I'm calling my mom" phone goes both ways, so what do we have going on in your world? What are we feeling lately? I feel like you've been hustling because you've been looking to get your ass on over to the West Coast, which has been a goal still that we're working on, but
Yes, but we found such a great spot, right?
mhm. Yes, we did.
We finally found the spot.
We
Huh,
did. We found the spot in California that feels like home for y'all, 100%. It
yes.
was very what's the word that I'm looking for? Very synchronicity or like full circle. It just felt like the day that we were there, we were meant to be there. It was like
Yeah, we went and did, Airbnb for a couple days there, and it was
mhm,
perfect, and it was just, um the vibe was just, yeah, we
yeah,
enjoyed it. We went kayaking.
that we did. The people saw that on the page. They knew never to pick you to go kayaking with. That's for damn sure. Don't pick Barb.
Next time, I think I can do single.
Yeah, she's dead weight. Good luck. But what else have you been feeling I mean, I feel like you've been feel like you've been listening to me a lot lately about what my existential crises are, which are typical, but what's going on? How have you been feeling?
I've been feeling good. I mean, just working, single, staying
Same
single, ladies.
yeah.
The single ladies, yes.
Yeah, she wasn't feeling season 2.
It wasn't feeling. I've learned that it's just nice to And I think that's the new vibe for my age group,
Mm,
single age group, is like being with thyself.
period. Clock it. Clock it. You do enjoy being by yourself a lot more lately. I have too about myself, I noticed that. Like,
Yeah.
I
I
really enjoy some alone, self-reflective time. There's something special about that.
I just yeah, I think I just enjoy it. Um, and
Is
it's
big
not
is
unhealthy for me because I go to Pilates now.
she's a Pilates
I
girl.
I'm a Pilates girl.
Is Big Blue still in the picture, or we cut ties with Big Blue from last season?
Here and there, here and
Okay,
there.
love that. Self-love forever. Self-love, clock it, clock it.
I've been reading and it's also like -7 degrees here every day, so not much to do.
Well,
Yeah.
that was the reason that you and Brett were like, "We need to give ourselves a hard deadline," because both of them are like, "We can't do the winter again here.
We
It's
are not
terrible."
doing another winter here. Terrible,
Yeah,
terrible, terrible. I
yeah.
mean, the last snowstorm, the the snowstorm we just had, I have it was, "Hold on, I'm calling my son," why I drive home from work in
Oh
the
my gosh.
snowstorm, and I had him on FaceTime,
Literally,
not on, I had him sitting in the
I was in the
passenger
passenger seat on
seat.
FaceTime with my mom while she was driving home from work, which typically takes her, like, 18 minutes, and it took 45.
Yeah, it
So
took
and I
almost an hour, yeah.
sat on all 45 minutes with her because I could tell she really wanted someone to be there with her in spirit, so
And he was like, "You have lived there your whole life." And I'm like, "I know, but I just think I'm over it." So I just yeah. Yeah, me and Brett both said, we're like, "We can't do this cold anymore." But yeah, so I was, "Hold on, I'm calling my son,"
mhm.
FaceTimed in the passenger seat belted in.
But that's why yeah, I would make sure I was buckled up for safety. It was rocky and it was very slippery out there.
It surely was.
But see, the "Hold on, I'm calling my mom" phone call goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
I got
Absolutely.
I got a ticket. I believe that I'm your son, so I get to, like, put all my bullshit out first, and you just have to listen to me, and then I'm just a nice son, and I love you, so then, therefore, I know that if you feel a certain way, then I'm like, "Oh, I wanna know how my mom is," so then you get to vent and express things to me, which was
Yeah.
me sitting in the passenger seat on the way home from
And there
work.
was quiet times, it just was having someone there with me.
Yeah, you need a moral support. You need a moral support.
I did.
Well, speaking of moral support, we as a group, you, myself, Brett, we have all decided to lock in to do something together for moral support, but for the betterment of our family dynamic and relationship. So the Royston trio has joined family therapy. We
We
have locked into
have.
family therapy.
We have.
And, I think this is I don't know if this is me projecting, so I just wanna speak on this for a second, is that I feel like it goes one or two ways. If you're one of the girlies, clock it, you get it, right? That, like, you just know that being in family therapy, it's just beneficial, right? Everybody knows you can never be more like, I don't feel like you can learn less in family therapy, I feel like you can learn more, right? So to me, I'm like, "Oh, I don't want people to think that it's like, we're shitty family and we don't know,"
No,
like
no, I think we all the whole trio was like there was no one but was like, "I don't know." Like, it was like immediately like, "We should do this," and we all collectively, I don't were immediately like, "Yes."
well, yeah, 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 yeah. I mean,
I don't think
a bitch isn't still own in her own therapy, but we got her to lock into family therapy at least, but we'll take it baby steps. So I'm like, that's something you need to do your own for like, you can't just rely on that solely. You need to do your own therapy. So I feel like I don't know who brought I feel like I was first brought it out about wanting to do it.
no, I think I did.
No.
And then we talked about it, and then I think I did, we talked about it, and then you moved the dial forward and made sure it happened.
Per usual, but yeah, so I feel like So yeah,
Family dynamics.
yeah. So
That's pretty much it.
the therapist that we're using for family therapy is my personal therapist, right? And that was something that, I was like, "Oh, I don't know how people are gonna feel because I don't want them to feel like, my therapist is like biased because it's me or something." But I actually feel like he does a really great job of navigating it and allowing everyone to make sure that they're heard and seen and they feel like, they're a part of the conversation. It's not one way. And I think that's really important. I don't think I would have moved forward with him if I didn't think that.
No, I just said I feel like that he knows you on a one-to-one, but it's almost like getting to know you again
And yeah.
in this environment. It's a whole different environment. So I feel like he knows you one-on-one, but when it's group, he learns something new about you.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
the bottom line why I felt like what I was trying to say is that I feel like people, can look at it as like, "Oh, they're a mess up. Like, how are they having a podcast and they're talking about their family dynamic and stuff if they're not?" I'm like, because we put it all out there because I feel like if you're a solid family, to me, my mom and my brother are not going anywhere in my life. So I'm always going to try to find ways to communicate with them, to, connect with them in a way that feels like it's healthier because
Yeah.
the moral of this story and why I feel like this is a really strong theme for this, season that, we're following doing the new season of the podcast in real time is that we are just starting out in family therapy. And I feel like we are trying to undo and untwist and unwind all these unhealthy dynamics that we have gotten stuck into because we did not come from a household with like traditional roles and we came from, everyone has a story and we've talked about it on here, but we came from a family where I feel like, things got skewed. I felt like at times I'm a husband to you, I'm a dad to Brett. And, that always made me feel like now as an adult that I'm like, oh, but I don't want to be like this anymore, right? I just want to be like an equal to you because I'm 33 and, we're all adults here. And I think that's really hard in the ecosystem to just like be around those people and just like suddenly withdraw and
Yeah.
not be
No,
that
I
person
think we
anymore.
all had multiple roles. Like, it wasn't like I was just the mom, you were
No,
just the
yeah. Well,
child,
I
Brett
was
was
speaking
just
for myself, but yeah, you
yeah.
you also were like mom, but you were also dad.
I was mom, dad. I was also like um a child.
Of
Like at
who?
some times I felt like
Oh,
I was just a child. You know what I mean? Like I was a
what
child.
to your then husband?
No, like to me, like that insecure kind of person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you mean meaning that you didn't grow up yet to be like the fully polished version that you are now.
Yeah, like
Like you would like you were more timid and insecure, and
yes.
now that you have gone through that, you're like, "Oh, like what's
Yeah,
up,
a
bitch? Like I'm here."
child, right. I was a child. I was um I guess it sounds weird, like when you say you were a husband, it
Yeah.
almost was like I was the wife to you.
Well, yeah, you
Does
were.
that
No,
sound weird?
no, I feel like our story is like,
Like
mom and
I
son,
leaned
but
on you
husband and
as
wife.
like yeah, as the
Yeah,
pillar.
not
Yeah,
like not like
I know.
like it's not incest. We're talking about like emotionally,
Yeah,
like
that's why I'm like, does that sound weird?
no, I think people get it. I mean, if really we're talking about like pictures of my friends' holes and
Well,
orgies,
that's what I
and
mean.
that's where
Yeah.
we draw the line of weird. No, I think that just would make sense that if you were saying, yeah, we were husband and wife in a past life, but we're mom and son. Yeah. I mean, I get it. In the emotional capacity, yeah, because there were a lot of moving parts in
Yes,
my
yes, yes,
family.
yes.
And
And
uh
Brett had multiple roles and
well, see, I really feel like Brett had one role, if I'm being honest.
yeah, after I
Brett
said
didn't
that, I
have multiple
realized
roles. That's why
that
our like
yes, you're right.
I feel like I was collateral damage in my family, if I'm being honest, because I feel like not that no, I feel like
No, I was collateral damage.
I feel that way too, though.
Do you?
Yeah, why do you get to just feel like collateral damage and I don't?
Well, because I needed to I was trying to protect me, I was trying to protect you, Brett, do this, make everything good, like,
I
so
know, but
I
I
was
would say to
always,
you
like, trying to fix and make everything good and perfect.
Not to be mean, this isn't mean. I don't ever feel like you protected me. I feel like you have supported me, but I don't feel like you have protected me.
Yeah, I
There's a
know what you mean by
difference.
that. Yeah.
Because I feel like I've always protected myself, and I feel like that's why as a grown adult now, when like, me, you and Breck get into arguments or like, little conflict that we have, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want my mom to like to protect me finally and just stick up for me. But I think like the biggest thing was, you know, like I don't hold any like resentment towards you or anything now because we have talked
Yeah.
about it, but I think like you weren't capable of protecting me because you couldn't even protect yourself, right? So why would I have the expectation that you would do that for me? That doesn't make you a bad mom at
Yeah,
all
yeah,
because
yeah.
you have always supported me and always have listened to me and always have given me like unconditional love. But I feel like what were we gonna say?
That I hear what you're saying. I feel like when I think of it, like your protection and my protection are probably two different things.
Well, your protection growing up was blinding people with like not
Yeah.
like letting them know the truth, even though we could all see it. And that to me was just like being oblivious, I guess. And it's like, well, no, that's not really protection for me because like
Yeah.
it's still happening and we're still seeing it. And if people are wondering, like, what are they still seeing? Is that like abuse, like, a toxic, volatile relationship in a household, not on your end, but on
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the counterpart. And I feel like that is, yeah, but I don't think that what I'm trying to say is I don't think that I felt protected in a way where I always felt like I had to protect myself, period. And
Yeah.
I felt like I was like, because I feel like I was protecting you.
Yeah.
And I feel
Yeah.
like I was
Yeah.
protecting Brett,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah,
I was
yeah.
protecting my mom, who
Yeah.
was very timid, who was not confrontational, who was very, like, people pleasy, to her own detriment, and, you're not gonna just, like, you're not gonna go fly off the handle and do that's just not who you are, and Brett was young, Brett was going through a lot of, like, stuff with his health, and then I felt like it was just me, so I'm like, when these things would happen in our household, I'm like, "Well, who's doing it? Me, I'm standing on business
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Fuck outta here," like,
Yeah,
we're
I
not
get it.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
But then, you can feel valid in saying that you felt like you
No,
did
no, no,
protect me,
no.
though.
Yeah, I think just in my own mom way, I have different, you know what I mean, kind of things, but
Yeah.
that doesn't matter if that's not what you're saying, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
But
no, it
that's
does.
why we're in therapy.
Yeah. No, it does matter. It does matter, but I'm saying, like, you're like, where do you feel like you fit in the ecosystem of our household back then? Like, what did you think your role was?
What do I think my role was in the house?
Yeah, like, what was your role in the ecosystem? Like, going now that we're doing this, like, what is something that you did then that you don't want to be fully responsible now and you want to change? Like, when we're saying, "Oh, we've said unanimously in family therapy, we're like, we want a clean slate." It's like we want that past version of ourselves to just like wipe it out. Like
Yeah.
we are who we are now. We've grown. We've all done some sort of like self work. We've acknowledged things. So it's like, where do you feel like what's a role that doesn't serve you anymore that you did then that now you're like, I don't want to do this?
Enabler.
Clock it. Okay. So
Yeah.
you feel like you enabled us as kids too?
Um, I mean, I let you guys do pretty much whatever you want.
That's the thing. I feel like we really
I
if
was
I'm
not a strict parent, but you guys were good. Like
we
I
really
say that,
were.
but
I'm
you
not
guys were good kids. Like I didn't really have to be strict. Like you guys
yeah,
just did.
I
Like
know.
I feel like it just flowed. You went to bed, you got up, you went to
We
school. Like
went to bed.
no, you went to bed.
Oh, I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay, why are you
Well,
throwing us under the bus like that?
some
Shit."
of yous did, but
Did I? I did, right? Sometime did I?
yeah, you were a little bit of a bedwetter.
Mm. I almost thought I was gonna wet the bed last night. I had to pee so bad because, like, I chugged a bottle of water before I went to bed because I wasn't feeling good.
Uh,
Anyway, I digress. Okay, so you feel like you were an enabler? Okay, so that doesn't necessarily but how
oh,
how
as a parent, as a mom,
how is your old role of what you played in our household, like,
as
that
a
you did
mom,
like,
or
I
just as
I'm
a
gonna say
person altogether?
let me say mine first and then see if that
Okay.
maybe changes your mind.
Okay.
Mine was that I felt like I always caught the residual residue left over everyone's kind of emotions, and I tried to, like, balance it the best that I could. Like, I tried to, like, support my brother who would, be, like, sick, or, he would be going through something personally, or, and I feel like I would take that on. The same thing with you. I feel like I would watch you be, like, in such a, unhealthy relationship where you weren't treated properly and cared for, and you would have a lot of things and didn't have support. So I always felt like I was the middle person. Like, I always felt like I had leftover stuff, and not saying no one else was there for me, but I always felt like I took
Yeah.
on everybody else's stuff. So I felt like, oh, as an adult now in my relationship, I still am good to take on your guys' stuff, but, like, I kind of want that to be acknowledged that I do that. I feel like for so long it was like that wasn't an
Yeah.
acknowledged thing until I got older, and I'm like, oh, I just felt like I kind of was like expected to do these things because I
Yeah.
just got so used to being that
Right.
person. I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, so what would do you still say enabler, or do you feel differently?
Um, no, I was probably a then I'm gonna change and say passive.
Okay.
And the person who just would be like, unfortunately, like, "We're not gonna talk about it. We're just gonna keep moving." And I would just try to be I don't wanna say fixer, but, like, the cover-upper.
Yeah, you'd rather just dust put it under the rug and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So you're saying now in our new, like, ecosystem of me, you, and Brett, you're saying, like, if something bothers you now, you wanna speak up on it. Like, you don't wanna be the person that just sweeps it under the rug. You feel like you have a right to speak on it.
I do.
Yeah, you
I
do.
feel like I do now.
You
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
You always have. But
Yeah.
I think also a part of that too is that you feel scared. Like, we talked about this recently, is that you have felt scared from your own family issues, that you felt like if you were to speak up, then you would be cut out from, like, me or Brett because we wouldn't agree with
Yeah.
you or something, which is, like, something you had to deal with, which is fucked up. And I'm like, I tell you all the time, I'm like, you could do nothing to me as my mom that I would say, I'm never speaking to you ever again. And I know Brett feels the same way.
I know that, but it's that inner
It's always
child
there. Yeah, of
it's that
course.
inner
Yeah.
child that gets sometimes the best of me of and it's just like in me,
It's
like
embedded in
that's
you. Yeah, it's
yeah,
ingrained. Yeah.
yes, like it's a learned thing, you know what I mean? Like, you fuck with me and you're out,
Mhm.
you know?
Well, I'm like, "You fuck with me, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, and you can still stick around, but you're gonna have to deal with what I gotta say."
Yeah, but that's kind of, you know, the way it is. So I guess that's like that little child in my
Of
head, like,
course. Yeah, it's still
"They're
there.
never gonna talk to you again."
Yeah, which is not the case at all.
I know, I have
But,
to learn that.
well, that's why we're in therapy, honey. So, we're gonna get you more comfortable in this family therapy unit, and then you can keep exploring personal therapy.
Yes, it's on my list.
Good, good. You need it. But you have the podcast, so that is also like our therapy too.
It really is.
And I wanted to say before we, like, you know, wrap this up, is that also Brett, I want him to be more involved in the podcast this season because
He
he
is.
is such a part of, our ecosystem, and I feel like how we operate as a family too. And, he's a part of this journey of us trying to unwind and undo everything. So, I made sure
And
to
he also does hold on, I'm calling my mom.
very much so. Yeah, we've just been ingrained. Speaking of ingrained, we have been doing this since, like, forever. We just, like, call you for, like, validation to process.
Yeah,
So it's like, here we are. He got an official robe sent to him by me. So
he did.
that means he's a part of the "Hold on, I'm calling my mom" journey as well. So
Yes.
Brett will be very much more involved moving forward.
Yes, he calls just as much as you.
I know. We gotta share our time. So why not better than a 2-for-1 combo with us together on it? So,
Really.
I am happy, like, that we did this.
I know.
I just feel good. I feel like I'm in my element when I do this.
I know.
I
It's,
feel
like,
like you
so
are too.
chill.
It
Yeah,
is.
I love it. I love it. I hope
Makes
everybody does love it too and
I hope, yeah, me
tune in
too.
for the new season, new
I know.
ideas.
I know. Do we you like the I like the flow.
I like the flow.
It's just us.
Just
There's
us.
no gimmicks, no
There's no
nothing.
gimmicks. That's what we're giving you this year,
Just
this
real, raw,
season.
vulnerable,
Us.
authentic us. Yeah, I agree, and I feel like that to me is always what I wanted to do. It's like I don't need to hide behind props and things, like, that's cute, but when it warrants it, but right now, I'm like, I'm in a very much of a era, and I think you are, where I'm like, "Bitch, this is us.
This is us.
Take it, and keep listening to it, okay?"
I agree. I agree.
Well, you haven't done this sign off in a while, so but be
Oh my
but
gosh.
before we go, I do wanna thank everybody for holding out for us, locking in on social media, still ride or dying, "Hold on, I'm calling my mom," listening to us means the world. It really is like my little baby, and I know my mom loves it just as much too, even though sometimes she forgets what it's called, but I do
I
love it.
forget what I did 10 minutes
That's
ago
what I'm saying, so
sometimes.
we're just gonna blame it on the menopause and old age, but I really do, like, look forward to doing this. I love it. I love that it's been incorporated into, like, our life because it is our life, and that's really what I wanna reflect and showcase, so the only thing that's gonna be scripted is my little spiel that I have not said in a minute, so it's gonna be a little rusty, but it is if you haven't already, make sure you are following the Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom podcast on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom. Make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube at Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom. We drop a new episode every Monday at 1 p.m. EST on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can listen and check that out. And if you have any inquiries, you want to join in on the conversation, we love having conversation, dialogue. Make sure you email us at hold on, I'm calling my mom podcast at gmail.com. I'm really proud that even though it's been 3 months, I knew how to say that still.
I know,
And
good
it's
for
like,
you.
it's
'Cause
like
in
it
my
never,
head, as you're saying it, I'm like, "What
you
the
were
hell
trying
am
to,
I
I know.
supposed to?"
Yeah, she don't even know what she's going to sign us off with. So let's see if she gets this right.
All right, it's that time. I'm hanging up now.
Call you
Call
later.
you later.
Love you, mom.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.